Hey now, what's going on? All right, we got another one of these happening. Welcome to Zippo's Art of Rock Livestream. My name's Jose, Metal Ambassador Mangan. I'm here in my garage in Costa Mesa, California. Super stoked to be, doing this cool series where I asked a bunch of my friends and bands to design their own custom limited edition Zippo lighters, and all of them were so excited to do this. And I'm so proud to bring up in a couple of moments some friends of mine, but I just want to take care of a couple of little business notes. I want to say thank you. Happy February. Happy beginning of our weekend together. And also thanks for watching last week's episode with my friend, musician, actor, dancer, all-around badass Boo Boo Stewart and his custom Zippo lighter, which we still have available on the Zippo website. You can pick this up anytime you want. There is the link that you can simply click and purchase Boo Boo Stewart's really cool, unique Zippo lighter. You can see the old man, with his shoulders up and is putting his head down with the halo. And Boo Boo went into great detail last week describing this. And I saw that he even did a photo shoot, like a professional photo shoot with him and his lighter and his hair. And it was really cool to see that after last week's live stream. So you can still pick up Boo Boo Stewart's custom Zippo lighter now. And also we have only a few left of Max Cavalera's Zippo lighter. And this is the one that we did the first week of our Art of Rock series. And there's a few left of this awesome Zippo that you can get, designed by Soulfly frontman, founder of Sepultura, and one of my metal lords, dear friend Max Cavalera. You can also pick this up at that same link where you can get Boo Boos. If you just search Art of Rock Zippo, you'll see all the cool artists that we have featured already and still to come. And their lighters will be on there on display as well. We're live right now all over the world on Zippo's Facebook, mine. We're on Revolver and Ink's Facebook as well. So thank you so much for watching wherever you are in the world. I love that you love heavy music and that you're here in your busy life hanging out with us in this Art of Rock live stream. So this is Max's lighter, and Boo Boo's lighter is still available. I'm going to thank Mastodon drummer Bron Daler for being our second guest a few weeks back. So it brings me to now. I'm so happy to bring two of my longtime friends on the Art of Rock live stream. When we first came up with this idea of asking musicians to design their own lighters, I pretty much basically designed this whole concept because of these two people who I was like, oh, they were the first people to come to my head when I was putting a list together. And I want to welcome longtime friend Charlie Benante from Anthrax and Carla Harvey from the Butcher Babies. And we're doing this together. Yeah, look at you. What's up, guys?
Hi, guys.
What's up, Jose?
Dude, it's an honor to have you here. Charlie, you know how much I love Anthrax. I got an Anthrax tattoo many years ago. My very first band. I always bring the same stuff up because it's important, I think, to put it into perspective. My very first concert in life was Anthrax opening up for Iron Maiden on the No Prayer for the Dying tour. And you guys had just put out the Persistence of Time album. And
That's
my
right.
cousin David Lee took me to Phoenix, Arizona, Compton Terrace to see you guys. And it was the first time I smelled marijuana was at that concert, and I knew what it was.
See what you did?
Yeah. Thank you, Charlie. And but yeah, dude, it set me on a path that I am still lovingly on today, which is just being a positive, loving metal ambassador, and that's because of Anthrax, man. So thank you, Charlie. And Carla,
Wow.
man, we have been the biggest supporters of the Butcher Babies. We were playing your demo music back on Liquid Metal Sirius XM when you first released, like, I think it was a 3-song demo. And I remember when the first Butcher Babies full length came out, there was even a sticker on the CD that had, remember CDs, and it had a quote from me on there and about the support and the love that we were giving your band back in the day. And it's so cool.
We were so excited the first time you played. It was all blonde girls look the same. And it was a demo that we literally did vocals in the closet for. And you played it and talked about us. And we sat by the radio so excited and recorded it.
Well, I'm so happy to have been a small little speck on the Butcher Babies. I like to be humble, but it's really cool to see our friendship grow and your band grow, and you as an artist grow too. So I love having you guys here. Like I said in the intro, when we were coming up with this plan, Charlie and Carla, I based this off of you guys. So thank you.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I mean, that's such a cool thing. When you first, told us about it, I was just like, "What? Really, Zippo?" I was like, I couldn't believe it. So we were stoked about it, and just all of a sudden, just the creative juices started to flow. Like, oh my God, how could we do this? What could we do? So all these ideas came, and like for me, I wanted mine to be very rock and roll, kind of metal. You know what I mean? Kind of, flying the flag for rock and roll and metal. So that's how I came up with the designs for the Zippo lighter that I did.
Well, I want to get into more detail about the lighters, and you watching at home or wherever you are, we are going to show those lighters soon and put them on sale for the very first time. And I know they're going to go so fast. So I'm looking forward to getting to that point. But Charlie and Carla, you were the first two people that I asked to be a part of the Art of Rock Zippo series. I asked you like months and months ago to be a part of this. And once I locked you two in, I was like, okay, this can work. I think this can work. So thank you again for being here. So we're going to talk about, music, and I want to focus on art because both of you are amazing artists. But, let's start with music first. That's, what I do every day on the radio is talk about music and support it and promote it. And I know, Charlie, you guys had a busy year last year performing at a lot of cool festivals. I saw you I was rocking out. I almost lost my head at a few of them, just rocking out so hard, watching Anthrax. And I know you guys have been slowly working on some music and stuff. But how did it feel, Charlie, and Carla too, to get back on festival stages last year when we were, we didn't have shows for so long, and then to come back and see so many people, at these festivals? Like, how did it feel,
It
Carla and
felt
Charlie?
it felt like I woke up from like from a coma. You know what I mean? And it's like, wow, now we're gonna do what we normally would be doing. And I would tell a lot of people, like the first couple of shows that we played, it was very strange to me. I couldn't settle down. I was so hyper. I would joke. Remember, I would say if we were playing like an hour set, I would be done in 45 because I'd be so excited and the adrenaline was pumping. So I needed to settle down. So by the time you saw us at Louder Than Life, I think it was,
And Aftershock
and Aftershock.
and
That's right.
Welcome to Rock.
Aftershock was for and Welcome to Rockville, right?
Yeah.
So I was calm. You know what I mean? Kind of back to my normal, feeling of playing a show. But again, it was so weird to me to like play in front of people again and just look at people as you're playing and just see like that, that the happiness, like, thank you, I've been missing this. So it was great. It
I
was
think that
great to
was the
get back.
biggest thing for me too, was seeing the emotion in people's faces, and then being back on stage with my friends that, because everything changed so much during the pandemic. I moved here to Chicago, so I didn't see my bandmates every day anymore, and you don't see them at all, and you don't go on tour. We finally got back in a bus and went on tour in the fall. So that was a trip. We were out for a month and a half, played some big festivals and clubs, and like just being back out there and getting in a bus and starting from scratch, it felt like again. But every night seeing the emotion on people's faces, and it was really hard to go back on tour. Mandates were changing every day. One day people could go into a club without a vaccine, the next day they couldn't. So it wasn't always like full places, but still the people that were there, we gave everything that we had to them. And then the festivals, man, Heidi and I used to always go out to the crowd. Even the biggest festivals will jump off the stage and go on the railing, sometimes in the crowd. And we couldn't do that so much anymore. But the last one we played, is it Welcome to Rockville in Florida? We got on the rail because we didn't have to worry about, getting sick and not being able to finish a tour. So we got out there and, usually I have to hold onto someone's hand to stay on the rail and make sure I don't get, swept away in the crowd. And I just remember the energy, like being that close to people again and singing with them. That up close and personal, and it was intense. I got a little bit emotional, you know, not a little bit, a lot of it, to feel that feeling again. But seeing those kids singing along again, just magical.
I loved watching both of your bands perform, and I know that during the time where we didn't have shows, you guys were very busy and continuously doing music. The two of you doing cover songs, quarantine covers together, and jamming. Charlie, I mentioned this to you, I think, when we were talking in July for the 40th anniversary of Anthrax, and we were talking about. I feel like you were like the VIP of quarantine cover songs, and you were like the captain of that army because you guys were the first to come out with something.
Yeah.
And then it did so well, you guys did another one, and then the next week you did another one with different musicians, and then you kept recruiting, and then you kept going and you kept going and you kept practicing. And that just, I think it probably in a lot of ways helped you get through this crazy ass time.
Oh, 100%. Like she'll tell you, I was losing my mind. This around this time last year, I was fucking going crazy, man. I was just like, man, this is driving me crazy. So I had to be creative again, and I had to shut the TV, you know, stop looking at my phone and obsessing about this thing. So I turned to music and I turned to art, the things that I kind of know well, and or I think I know well. And that was it. And then I called up some friends who I knew were probably in the same boat as me. You know, it's like they want to play, they want to entertain. You know, that's the thing about us musicians. We play our instruments, but we're also entertainers. Without knowing it, we entertain. So that's how it started, and it just snowballed into something. And people kept asking me, "Are you going to put these out like on vinyl or download?" And no, that I didn't want to do that. And then I got asked one too many times, and I finally put it out in May, which is called Silver Linings, of course, and it features Carla and a bunch of my friends that really kicked ass on it. And I was so happy, like, to do that. It was really cathartic to, you know, doing those songs and doing those videos, just getting me and other people through this pandemic.
It was
I
fun to
love
do it together, you know, sit in the house. You know, we couldn't go out anywhere. Everything was closed down here. So instead of going out, we would sit in the kitchen and record my vocals, or um, he was having a fit with it. He wanted me to do to do the Massive Attack song, and I was like, I don't sing high. I don't want to do it. And we battled over that because I wanted to sing it real low and sultry.
And I'm like, no, you
And he's
could
like,
do
no,
this.
sing
You
it
could do
high.
this.
So we were in the kitchen. I'm crying into my,
You weren't
you, no,
crying.
not crying, but
She was drinking. That's
drinking my Italian mule that he made me. But you know, it was fun to do that stuff together.
that's
And
fun.
then when we weren't making music, we made art together.
what was your favorite moment of jamming together, Carla, with Charlie? What was like the coolest song that you feel like you did? I know it's hard to ask because you did a bunch, but I mean, you did a lot.
I love doing the Tom Petty song. I love my voice doing that song. I love that singing
What
with a little
song
bit
was
of
it?
twang. The Tom Petty one. We did "You're So Bad," and I got to play the ukulele.
You play ukulele.
So
I mean, we tried to do a few different songs. We actually did a Pretender song too, but we never
yeah, we should
finished it
finish that one.
because the Pretenders are like one of my all-time favorite bands as well. And but yeah, we would just like I would just come up with these songs because either they were from when I was younger, or it's just, you know, one of those songs that I always loved. And that Massive Attack song, while it wasn't easy to do, it was challenging, but the end result for me was I was so happy that wow, we actually pulled that one off.
And I'll give it to him. You know, I think that we both inspire each other to go out of our comfort zones and do things. Like I pushed him into doing art shows so the world could see his art. He pushed me to do things that I don't think I can do. I told him I want to do a Pantera song or something like that. You know, let me sing something that I know that I can. You know, that's what I'm good at. And he's like, no, I want you to do Tom Petty and I want you to do Massive Attack and Pretenders. But it's
Yeah,
good for me. It's good to be
take
pushed
you out of your comfort zone. Exactly. So while I did that, I also did this record with some friends of mine, and that was called Classic 78, which just came out like last month, and that was so much fun to do, man. And I know I sent that to you too, but yeah, if you guys have a chance to check out that Classic 78 record, it's awesome.
Tell us about it, Charlie, because maybe there's people that don't know what that was about and how that came about.
So Classic 78, about a few years ago, I got wind of this record. It was an EP from this band called Classic 78, but it was spelt like kind of Kiss like. So when I heard it, I thought they were Kiss demos that I had never heard because it sounded just like Kiss to me. I fell in love with it. I contacted the guys, just I blew them up, just like, dude, I love this. This is the greatest thing, and just remained friends with them. And then they contacted me about possibly playing on the next one that they were doing, or the third one that they were doing. And one of the guys came to a show and we talked about it, and I said, I would love to do it. I'd love to do the whole thing. So let's fast forward to this newest record that they have called Phantoms, and from Classic 78, and now I'm in the band, so to say. And the songs are just so awesome. If you're an old school Kiss fan, or whatever Kiss fan you are, you have to hear this because you're going to love it. You're not going to like it. You're going to love it.
Have the guys in Kiss heard it? I know you're pretty close with them.
I want to give it to them if I see them in person. That's how I want to do it. But I heard they heard the first record and they actually liked it. But I want them to hear this new one because I think the new one is like just next level. It's so good.
Nice. And I also want to go back and just give a big shout out to the bass player that jammed with you, Charlie, on a lot of those quarantine covers, Rod Diaz. In my head, and I've told you this too, and I've told him a bunch of times. I just saw him last night at the Korn Church show.
Oh, you went to that?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Cool.
It was. We had to go in funeral attire. It was so fucking cool. But yeah, Rod Diaz, man, because of you involving him on all these covers, in my head, he became like the VIP bass player of the quarantine.
Dude, he's the greatest.
He's such a good person.
He's
awesome.
a good person and a great bass player, great musician. And like me and him would just kind of bounce stuff back and forth, like the Run DMC song that we did, that's on Silver Linings. I put that whole kind of arrangement together, and Rod just kind of went with it and added so many cool and tasty parts to it, as did Rob Caggiano. And of course, D sang, I was going to say sang, but he raps on it. But Rod Diaz is the greatest. He's on the Tom Petty song too that we did.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he was on everything that you did. So
yeah.
That's pretty cool. And who knows? I think that could have been a nice little resume builder for Korn to ask him to come play with him. So I don't.
To me, he fits so well in that band. He's just perfect. So I'm very happy for him.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, me too, dude. Thank you so much, Charlie and Carly, again for hanging out. Hey, you guys, how many cups of coffee have you had? I know last time we did one of these dual interviews, it was on the Mega Cruise, and I interviewed both of you guys, and it was during a coffee morning hangout. So how many cups do you have? This is my second so far, but I don't have your Benante blend, but this is just some K-cup thing.
I want 2.
I've had 7 shots of espresso today.
And I'll get you some coffee.
7?
I had an iced quad espresso in the morning, and then I had a triple vanilla latte. So yeah, 7 shots of espresso today.
Nice, that's awesome. Well, at least you're not freaking out. I don't see you shaking or anything, so you're good. Yeah, it probably doesn't even affect you anymore.
She's seeing helicopters.
So, Carla, music update. I know the Butcher Babies have been working on new music over the last couple of years, and you guys are slowly putting out.
We'll have a really, really big update very, very shortly, but I can't talk about it just yet.
Okay.
But a huge update. So we're really excited for the future, and we've got a cool touring schedule coming up for the year. Some cool festivals just got announced. Upheaval, Incarceration, and there's another big one that I can't remember right now, but it's like the same. This one weekend is like massive, and then we'll hopefully do a tour around that, and we've got some cool stuff coming up in Europe too. So it's going to be a big year for us, and there's something really, really big going on. But like I said, I can't give away the good news just yet.
I love it. I can't wait to support that and to hear about that. So let's talk about art. This is something that both of you have been so actively doing since I've followed you guys on social media a long time ago. You have been consistently putting out amazing art. And I know that, Charlie, when we spoke about your art in our interview last year on Liquid Metal, you talked about Carla and how she helped really support you and push you to do that, because if I remember correctly, you really don't like to sit down and do that stuff. But Carla was like, "You're good. Sit down, shut up, do it, go. You're not getting up until you're done." You know, like, I love that. So,
well, we had the same trajectory when we were young. We both wanted to play music and wanted to be artists. He went to art school. I went to art school when we were very young, and then we both quit art school to go be in heavy metal bands. So, and when we first met, actually, that's how we started our courtship, if you will. We met backstage at Knotfest years ago, like 2014, and we started talking. And because Butcher Babies had covered Pussy Whipped, SOD. So we started talking about that, and then we started talking. We exchanged email addresses, no phone numbers, nothing like that, but email addresses. And I sent him the cover song, and I said we started talking about art, and I sent him artwork. He sent me artwork.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we started our relationship, and we both love Comic-Con and comic books and all that kind of stuff. So that's how we, connected. And
we actually went.
Yeah, we went to Comic-Con together.
No. The first time you came to the studio.
Yeah.
That's right. And then we went to
our first date was at an art store. It really was.
We went to an art store.
He invited me out, and I didn't know if I was going to go or not. Didn't know if I wanted to date a drummer. But we went, I picked him up, and we went to, I had to go to around that area anyway. So I'm like, I'll kill two birds with one stone. I'll pick him up. We'll go to this art store. So we literally had our first date walking around the aisles of an art store.
Yeah. That's
and it was actually like kind of romantic. And I was like, wow, he gets me. He was really into like what I was getting, the pens, and it was just it was a cool day. So he's always done art. He's designed stuff for Anthrax. He's drawn stuff for SOD.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, and I think he's the kind of person, like, he wants people to know these things, but at the same time he doesn't put it out there to the universe. So
no.
So how are people supposed to know that you do all these awesome things unless you show them?
That's the thing. I mean, I'm kind of like a closet artist, but for being in the band, I would often joke about, I got a lot of my art education from the art departments in the record companies. I would love those days of going up and just hanging out with the art department and discussing the next album. And we would, talk about color schemes and things like that, because back in the day when you used to go to record stores, you would use certain colors so that when people were walking down the aisle, your record would pop out. You know what I mean? So just things like that, and these are people who created some of the most iconic album covers, that ever came out. So for me, this is how I was getting my education. And then, from there, it just went on. It's funny because being with Island Records, which was a part of Warner Brothers, I would go to the Warner Brothers building in Manhattan and just go to the art department there. And these are the people who did, Back in Black, all the Zeppelin albums, just so many amazing records that we all stare at, So here I was amongst them working on, a record for my band. So it was crazy. And that's how it was. And I would do all the T-shirts for the band and stuff like that. And it was great. And if you guys know Mad Magazine, Mort Drucker, who used to be an artist with Mad, he did the back of our State of Euphoria record. It's like a cartoon version of us with the Knot Man behind us. And that was one of the greatest days of my life, talking to Mort Drucker about doing the back cover for us. It's just crazy. So it's amazing how this whole music changed my whole life.
What about your favorite Anthrax album cover that you designed, Charlie?
Oh, wow. I would say Among the Living was one of the best ones, because to me, it's so iconic, and I've seen it kind of not ripped off, but like duplicated in different ways. And I thought I thought that album cover to me was just, it was perfect for what I was feeling and some of the songs on the record, you know. Just loved it.
Let me ask you something kind of dumb. It just came to my mind. So when you do this and somebody else doesn't do this, because you know it all costs money, all these different things that you're doing. Did you save money by doing your own art?
Yeah, I would always say I don't get paid for doing this. I just do it because I'm in the band, you know. Um, but for the most part, I just enjoyed doing it, you know. And if I wasn't going to do it, I wasn't going to trust someone outside of the band to do it because I wanted it to be, you know, I still believe in that whole do it yourself thing, you know. So it's that punk rock type of thing inside of me that no, I want to do it my way. I want it to be from us, you know.
Carla, for you, what was first when you were a little girl? Where'd you grow up? In California?
Michigan. Yeah, no,
Oh,
nope, Michigan, Detroit. Yeah.
Michigan. So were you into music or art first?
You know, it was kind of simultaneous for me. I loved comic books. I loved, all the 90s comic books. But also I grew up, when we had record stores. I'm old, and we used to go and sit on the floor and look at albums, and rock and roll albums had the coolest art, the coolest imagery. And I think that I was, a very shy, quiet kid. So music and comic books were my world. And I would sit in my room and draw comic books that went along with, a Pantera song or whatever. So I think it was very much hand in hand. And I'm not sure that I would be doing either one if it wasn't for the other.
And do you have a favorite piece that you've designed over the years? Because I know you're constantly putting stuff out for your fans to have, and you've done museum shows and things like that, expos.
Yeah.
Do you have something that you are very proud of? Wait, look, now, but back then, like what was your favorite piece back when you were, growing up in Michigan? You were like, oh my God, this is awesome. Hey, a family, look at this. Yeah,
that I created. So actually, funny story. I recently, few years ago now, had a chance to be on the cover of Heavy Metal magazine, my art, and so they wanted to see my art, and I showed them, and the piece that they picked was a piece of art that I did when I was 16 or 17 years old in high school, and I drew it on a big piece of mat board, and it's this girl with a shaved head, and she's topless, and she's got very small breasts, and it's a very like militant looking girl. And there's something special about it. And I've had it for years, and I even put it in my first art show in LA, and people were really captivated by this piece that I did when I was 16. And I didn't tell Heavy Metal magazine because I was like, they picked that one out of all my stuff. But this piece that I did when I was just a kid ended up on the cover of Heavy Metal magazine. So I'd probably say that is probably the biggest thing I've, done art-wise.
Was your family supportive?
My family has always been very supportive of art, music, whatever it is that I wanted to do. I was the kid that shy, quiet, got straight A's, but I liked my heavy metal and I liked to draw my naked chicks. I think my parents always encouraged, my mom encouraged, and my grandmother who raised me, they really encouraged me to do art. My one of my grandpas was an Italian opera singer. My step grandpa was a drummer. So I think that the arts were just encouraged. My great grandma was a painter, and she used to do Japanese style erotic art. So it wasn't something that was weird to them. They've always encouraged me.
I always thought, and this is going to sound really cheesy and dumb, but I always thought that the animated like chicks were pretty hot. Remember Jem and the Holograms? I always had a crush on Jem. I thought she was so hot.
I actually entered a contest to draw Jem and the Holograms when I was a kid. I was totally into that. And I forget about stuff like that. That probably inspired me too. Here's this hot cartoon chick and she plays in a band. That's what I want to be when I grow up,
Josie and the Pussycats.
Yeah, I grew up with Jem, but I missed the Josie and the Pussycat era But for Jim, I was this little, beaner kid on the border of Mexico and Arizona, seeing this hot blonde with pink hair. I was like, oh my God, it probably made me want to go into rock and roll too. So
Yeah.
in a lot of cool ways. So that's awesome. And Charlie, what about you, dude? I know I've mentioned this to you before, I think in a bunch of our interviews, but what came first for you, drumming or art?
Drumming came first. Like I was born doing it, and then art came later on. But I got the art, I think, from my mom. My mom used to draw a lot, and my cousins used to draw a lot. And I remember when I was young, we would be at my aunt's house, and we'd be around the table, and my cousin would be drawing, my mom would be doing something, and I would be drawing, and just stuff like that. And it just grew from there. Like I remember my mom used to work at a bakery, and two doors from the bakery was like this magazine store, and she used to give me money to go there and buy like comic books and whatever magazines it was, and I would go back and sit in the back of the place and just draw what I just got out of the book. So that's how it all started for me. And yeah, man, I cherish those days because those are the days when your imagination is just going, and you don't know what you're going to do when you get older, but you're just being little and just enjoying it.
Do you have a favorite piece that you have hung up in your home? I see you're in an awesome room with pinball
I have a lot of
machines, and
pinball
there's
machines.
yeah, that's awesome. But do you have something that you have framed somewhere? And my friend Johnny Mop here is commenting, love the pinballs. Yeah, I know, Johnny. It's so awesome, man. Do you have a cool frame
I
piece
have too
that you
many
have?
pieces. I can't pinpoint one piece, but I do have an original uh, from the Jaws movie, a poster that's signed by the artist. So
But what's your favorite piece that
what's my
you've done?
favorite piece. I don't know, man. It's hard to say. People love the SOD cover, but to me, it was just I just did that really quick. Um, it's hard. It's hard to pick a piece. It's like how do you pick your favorite album or stuff like that? So it's hard to say. Like there's something tied to each piece, you know what I mean? Like the surroundings of like when you did it or why you did it, stuff like that. So it's kind of tough to pick. But if I had to pick one right now, I'd have to say the Zippo lighters that I did.
Yeah, good segue, my brother. Good segue. I love that. So let's talk about that. So, and let's bring up Charlie. Let's bring up yours real quick first. I'm gonna hold it up right here, and you got yours right there. There it is. The Charlie Benante limited edition custom Zippo that you can own at the end of this Art of Rock live stream. Can you tell us about this? And by the way, you watching at home, there's only 150 of these. This is like a nice bonus to the combo Zippo that I'll show you in a moment that Carla and Charlie both did each side. And but this is the bonus one. And Charlie, tell us about this one.
So this original idea I've had for a while. I actually did uh, a pair of Vans shoes too with this type of design. But for me, it's all about the the metal inside of us all. Um, After Ronnie Dio and Gene Simmons made this, famous throughout the years, I always felt that that was kind of like our sign to each other when we saw each other. We're just like, and you immediately knew, like, yeah, dude, I'm down, I'm cool, and all that stuff. So I felt like this lighter was something that I just wanted it to reflect that very rock and roll, very heavy metal, and yeah, when you light your cigarette, your cigar, your blunt, whatever, with this, people see you, they know that you're a metalhead, and you don't even have to give that sign; you just show them the lighter.
It's so funny. The way I wave is like this, even to even people that I don't even know that they know what it means. I'll just be like, oh, thank you, and I always do it. So this is an automatic thing for me. And I actually have rings on my horn throwing fingers so that I can just go like, boom. I don't have to think about it, so
Boom.
they're weighted down. If I just go like this, it automatically forms, you know what I'm saying? So it's just boom. But I love this 150 of these custom Charlie Benante Zippo lighters will be made available. I know they're going to go very, very quickly. And I love the colors too. How'd you pick the colors?
Purple was my mom's favorite color, and when my mom passed, I always said that I'm going to continue like with that in mind because it always reminds me of her and it just keeps her here.
I love that. It's such a beautiful thing. I love purple too. Purple's an awesome color, man. So
Prince.
now, yeah, Prince. I think Justin Bieber loves purple too. So I know that because I have teenage daughters. All right, it's not like I. All right, and don't attack me on social media. Oh, I knew it, Jose. Whatever. All right. And now let me show up this other one. And so when I asked both of you to be a part of this, my idea, and this is, again, you were the first two people that I asked to be a part of the Art of Rock series. I was like, why doesn't Charlie do one side? And why doesn't Carla do the other? And in the 90 years that Zippo has been around, 90 years, this hasn't happened. There hasn't been a couple lighter like this ever. So congrats, Carla and Charlie.
Wow, that's
I
awesome.
love that. So here is the front, and of course, Carla's got to be
the
on
good
the front.
half. The good half.
The one. Yeah, this is the front of the custom Zippo lighter that will be made available as soon as this is over. This one is going to have. There's going to be 500 of these. So more opportunity for you to get your hands on one of these. And so, Carla, can you tell us about the front of your custom Zippo? And thank you, by the way, for being super excited and posting this on your socials and stuff.
Yeah.
It really means a lot. It warms my heart to see that. This was just like a little, fun idea that turned into this really cool opportunity to be the only couple in the history of 90 years of Zippo to do a front and back Zippo. So tell us about this, Carla.
Well, most of you out there watching, if you know me, you know that I was an embalmer and an autopsy technician. And the first time that I did an autopsy, I opened up and I held a human heart in my hand the first time, and I became obsessed with them. It was such a moment for me because I'm like, wow, this thing in my hand keeps us up, walking around, living, breathing. So I started to obsessively draw anatomical hearts, and I do a different one every year. I did this one a few years ago, and it's covered in spikes, and I call it my heart full of metal. And at the time, I was obviously going through something. It says trust no one at the top of it here, and it's covered in spikes, like don't get close to me. But again, it's my obsession with anatomical hearts. I think they're just the most beautiful, perfect thing in the world. And spikes are cool. So
spikes are cool and super metal.
This piece of art, and I submitted a couple different designs to Zippo, and they chose this, and I knew they would, because this piece is tattooed on so many people. I drew this on tour in a Starbucks and colored it with markers years ago. And I posted it, and people went absolutely wild over it. I had no idea what a big impact it would make on people. And like I said, at every show, there'll be someone that comes up to me and says, I have your heart on my, tattooed on my arm. And it just, it's awesome.
Wow, that is so cool. Charlie, why don't you get this tattooed? Show her how much you really love her, dude.
I'll do it. I'll do it tomorrow.
So this is a design that you did years ago. And yeah, we didn't bring it up, but that is so cool. We've talked about it in our interviews on Sirius XM, Carla. But yeah, you worked in the mortuary sciences. That's what you did. For how long did you do that for?
I've been in the death industry for over 15 years, and now I just do grief counseling, and I'm a death doula and a certified thanatologist. But I worked in a mortuary for a few years until I joined the Butcher Babies. Until we formed the Butcher Babies, and then we started to take off. We had to tour. You can't work at a mortuary and ask for a couple months off to go on tour. 10 months out of the year, so I had to quit. But those days are very, very special to me.
I love this, man. Yeah, that's so cool. Jonathan Davis was a mortician as well.
I think Jonathan Davis did body removals. I don't think he was a mortician, but still cool. Awesome.
Have you seen
People always ask me if I got the idea to go to mortuary school because of Jonathan Davis, and I had no clue that he had done that. So It's not where I got it from, but I think it's awesome that when people bring awareness to these cool jobs in the death industry.
Have you seen that movie called The Mortician?
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it came out a couple of years ago. It's pretty cool. It's like one of those movies that has a bunch of stories in it. But it's a pretty cool movie. I think you would like that. So this is the front of the custom Zippo that will be made available momentarily. And I see a lot of cool fan comments here. Thank you very much for watching wherever you are. And people are loving it, Carla. And now let's go to the backside. And here we go. We're going purple again with my boy Benante.
Yeah.
And I love how you put Zippo into the design. And this reminds me of Persistence of Time.
So that's exactly what I was thinking, because when you came to us with this idea, the one thing that I remembered is that the Persistence tour was your first tour and you got the tattoo. So I wanted to add that to this. So that's like one of the skull and crossbones from that album cover. But it's kind of has a little bit of a Jolly Roger type of like, look to the skull. And so that was kind of inspired by you and just kind of rock and roll and skull and crossbones,
Oh, Charlie, I love you, man. Come on, let me give you a hug. Come on, dude, get over here. This is so awesome. I love that. And the POT release from Anthrax is one of my favorites from you guys ever. I love that. Among worship music are I think are my top 3. But this is a really cool design, and it's so cool to include in Bones the Zippo name on there. What made you want to do that, Charlie?
I just thought of it. I was just like, this would be really cool to write Zippo in like a, skull and crossbones type of font. But the other thing I thought of is like that one is purple, but in the future, Zippo can change the background to black, green, red, whatever they want, So
I love how we're thinking long term right here. Matthew Langley says, "Take my money." Thank you, Matthew, dude. Yeah, this is awesome. So yeah, look at this. But what a cool, I mean, again, this is just a little idea that I had, and you guys were into it, and Zippo was so happy with this as well. The front with Carla's design, and then the back with Charlie, and then we got the bonus lighter that Charlie did on the front here, representing our love of our mutual love of heavy metal music. And dude, I didn't know this was a dedication to me, man. That again, I'll give you a kiss when I see you. I love hugging you, so I'll do it. I don't care.
Awesome.
I'm comfortable with my masculinity. But yeah, dude, this is such a cool design, and I can't wait for fans to have this. So I'm very, very proud of you guys. And thank you again for being excited to do something like this. Let me add too, my friends at Zippo, they love both of you. They thought it was such a cool thing to work with you, and a pleasure to work with both of you, and they're big fans. So you made a lot of fans, within the company just by being so cool to work with, and so just so appreciative and giving.
I will say that we had a lot of fun doing this, and like Tracy was really awesome. Leah was really awesome, and of course you're awesome. We all know that, but they were really nice people to work with, and just cool. You know what I mean? There was like no stress about anything, and so that it just made it a pleasant experience for both of us.
I try to always surround myself, Carla and Charlie, with positive people. Always. I try to exude that on and off the radio. And I always I wouldn't work with these people for these many years if it wasn't, from the heart and stuff. That's how I come swinging. And I know you two are the same. So I love this. The Benante Harvey Custom Zippo celebrating the 90th anniversary of this amazing company, and now you can get yours. This will sell out, so don't wait till later. Don't wait till after work. Click the link right there and
do it now.
Do it now. Drop everything. Put down the notebook. Put down the computer keyboard. Put down everything. Oh no, maybe you need to use it to order this. So go ahead. And now it's available for a limited time, the Charlie Carla edition 2022 Zippo lighter. This is so cool. limited. And please, when you get these, post it up on pictures or videos or whatever on the socials. Yeah, I know Charlie and Carla would love to see that. I want to see that. And so make sure you tag us and show us your custom Zippo, and even the ones that you bought in the weeks prior, the Max one, the Braun one, and the Boo Boo one. Get two and display both sides. So that's a good idea right there. Thank you for saying that. So
James is smart.
Yeah, he is really, really, really smart, man. So I got nothing but love for both of you. Here is both custom Zippo lighters. I was very much looking forward to talking to you guys about this. Carla, I'm looking forward to the Butcher Babies announcement that's going to be happening soon. You know, we have your back. And Charlie, I know you guys are going to be noodling away on some cool stuff. And whenever that's ready, you know, we're going to fire with all cylinders on Sirius XM when the time comes, man. A big, big, long time fan and friend. And again, what I always say on and off the radio is the greatest thing about, you know, my blessed life is my idols have become my friends. So it's really cool to be here.
That's cool.
It's beautiful. I mean, same thing for you. I mean, your idols are your friends.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of nuts thinking about this kind of situations that we find ourselves in. But so thank you so much for watching. You can get your custom Charlie Carla lighter now. And all right, cool. Do you have anything else to say, Carla and Charlie, before we go?
No, just thanks for the opportunity, Zippo. It was really, really fun, and hopefully to do it again sometime.
Absolutely. Thanks again, Jose, and thanks, Zippo, and thank you everybody for tuning in and for purchasing these. It's really cool, and I hope to see you at a show going click in the audience.
There you go. Awesome. Hey, and Charlie, and give my love to your daughter too. I know she just had a birthday. She just turned
That's right. 16.
16. Yeah, because my youngest daughter Ava is about to be 16 in a couple of weeks. So wow. I know that they're right around the same age. How crazy. She's 16 now, dude.
I know. But hey, love to the family and everybody, dude.
Likewise. Thank you, Carla. Thank you, Charlie. And thank you for watching everywhere. And we'll see you next week. We got 2 more of these Art of Rock live streams. We got Eric from Fever 333. Why are they all drummers? You know, Mario from Gojira. We had Braun from Mastodon. Why are the drummers the artists? Charlie, you have to answer that. I forgot to ask you that.
I think the answer is already there. You can tell who the most creative guys in the band are. It's the drummers.
Yeah, no more drummer jokes. The drummers are the ones that are making the awesome art. That's what it is, man.
Drummers always get the chicks too.
Yeah, there you go. Nice, Carla. And
like
nice,
that.
Charlie. Hell yeah, that's true. Right there. Oh, look at the love. Look at the love. So, all right. So we got 2 more drummers coming up in 2 weeks. Mario Duplantier from Gojira. And next week, we're going to have Eric from Fever 333. All right, man. Thanks again, Charla. Charla. See, I did it. I did it at the very beginning of the interview. I pulled the Benner first. Sorry. Charlie and Carla. Thank you again. And thanks for watching. And we'll see you again. Don't forget to follow Charlie, Carla, and myself and Zippo Encore and Zippo. And we'll see you next week. Peace. Yeah.
Awesome.